Hi lollies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel. Thank you for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you'll be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of ours. You guys are the real MVP. So guys, I came across this video on my For You and I thought to share this particular stitch has been going viral on the social platform where this Palestinian woman decided to come out to spill, but it was all found out that this woman made up this story to show her anti-blackness and the entire black community. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment.
Yo, I want y'all to really listen to me. Black people, listen to me. If you're not black, listen to me. If you're a person who is trying to tell or convince black people to come in together with y'all, black people are on a specific mission. We're on a specific mission. Hold on. The reason all these other groups of people want black people to step in for us psychologically is because they still see us as slaves, as chattel. It's really deep rooted in that type of way, y'all. Think about it. They expect their slave to work for them, right? They think that black people should always bear the burden of saving or being the world's moral compass. And they're like, why aren't you slaves doing that? We own you. You're supposed to be doing this. It's so deep rooted. Your anti-blackness is showing if you are expecting black people who are still actively going through shit to hop on a bandwagon for you. We are not providers and laborers. We are human beings. Stop dehumanizing us and making us be some sort of savior for all of the world's complexities. Stop doing that. Check whatever deep-rooted issue you have going on. The first thing that you think of is a black person. The first thing that you think of that could save you is a black person, a black woman, a black man, a black. Black people want to save themselves, bro. And that's what we did, right? So y'all go figure it out for y'all. And that goes for everybody. The black immigrants, everybody. Like, stop looking for black people and then stop trying to gaslight us and change the situation and make it make sense for you to get your benefit from it. No. Black people are on a specific mission. Black people are on a specific mission, and they're in a specific part of the actual healing journey. And this part is called boundaries, baby. Do what y'all need to do. Check your weird shit. Don't get up on this internet doing that weird shit. You guys are being weird. Go read a book. Go read a book.
This is why some people are so dangerous to the movement, not only to the pro-Palestinian movement, but also to black activism. Because if I was somebody else, if I haven't already done so much work for the black community, if I didn't already have a deep understanding of racial dynamics, this entire experience might have pushed me away from the black community. But I know that these rotten tomatoes in the community do not represent the black.
I don't speak for us all, but I do speak for the rotten tomatoes when I say you can go. Consider yourself pushed, shoved. You are lucky that you were able to cobble together a group of black people to go on that trip in the first place. After you nonsense, never Kamala, vote for Kamala as a vote for genocide people shows your asses last November. Okay? Also, I don't believe you. I don't believe the beggars asking for money incident is the only instance of racism that they experience. I believe it's the most innocuous one that you strategically picked to minimize their concerns. Okay?
Yeah, I have tuned in, and I think the whole discourse is rotted because I think Heba's initial video is rotted. Heba and the people defending her literally don't make any sense. Because their whole point, right, is that Black Americans should set aside their feelings when experiencing anti-blackness from Palestinians because Palestinians are actively going through a genocide and they need help. Like, there's a lot going on with that statement that I don't agree with. I think it's a really complex issue. But if that's their argument, it doesn't even make any sense because the black volunteers that Heba's talking about literally did that. I just rewatched the video. Heba never said that these nameless volunteers stopped doing the work. She never said that they were disrespectful to anyone they were directly helping. She is upset about private conversations that these black volunteers had amongst themselves and with other volunteers, away from the people they were helping. One of the things that Heba is so upset about is that one of the leads, right, started private conversations with other black Americans in the group. How dare they? I'm somebody who used to organize safe space discussions, right? That lead did the exact right thing. She identified that there was a big emotional response from a lot of the black volunteers, including herself, and created a safe space where they could talk about those things privately and vent their frustrations so that it wouldn't go into the work they were doing. Literally setting aside their emotions so that they could continue to focus on the work. Like, it's crazy that Heba ends the whole video condemning these volunteers and saying that they're a threat to Palestinian solidarity. They're a threat to like every liberation movement, including black liberation. I think what Heba wanted was for these volunteers to not have feelings at all and to not express their emotions around her. That's what she wanted. She is Palestinian American. She was very excited to go on this trip. She wanted to connect with her culture. She wanted to help her people. And I can respect that. But the reality of anti-blackness within the culture raised an issue. And instead of sitting with those feelings in her journal, like she said, for a little bit longer, she let them consume her. And like, it's a complex issue, but like, she should have sat with those complex feelings privately, like those black volunteers did, because I don't see any of them coming on TikTok and talking about their experience to start some weird fucking discourse. All right, this makes it like 10 times worse, because what the fuck? Heba really made it sound with her talk about like liberation and the understanding of solidarity and recognizing the pain of the Palestinian people that they were on some type of aid trip. I know I'm not the only one who thought about it, because that's how everyone is talking about it in this discourse. But yeah, you go back a couple videos, she is talking about a paid guided religious trip. She's basically on vacation with a group of other Americans, which is fine. But then that makes her anger at the black Americans who are experiencing anti-blackness on this trip even worse. Like, she says that these black Americans need to understand their American privilege, and it's like, no, they understand their American privilege, and they understand that it doesn't mean shit when they're black. Because let's just really run it down, okay? They're all Americans on a guided tour in Palestine. And even though these black Americans are obviously part of this guided tour at the same hotel in the same group as her, they are still experiencing anti-blackness. And they can't be upset about that. I know Heba didn't pay for her tour, but what if those other people did? This is not a conversation about liberation. This is a conversation about hospitality and about safety in travel and the difference in hospitality when you're black versus when you're non-black. This whole discourse is ridiculous. Should have never started.
Why is it that a black person can't vocalize the racism or anti-blackness they've experienced at the hands of Arabs or Arab Americans without the onus being put back on the black person to fix it? There's always a Heba out there screaming, "It's not the oppression of Olympics, stop putting Western standards on non-Western people." This is basically exactly what happened with Maya and Tory. Someone told Tory, get that Palestinian flag out of your bio if you intend on voting for Kamala Harris. And Tory said, bet. Flag gone. What did Maya do? She take the time to talk to her own community about how the rhetoric that was launched at Tory did nothing but harm the Palestinian movement? No. She got on the internet and said, well, if that was enough to take the flag out of her bio, she never really supported Palestine anyways. Okay. You expect black people to accept disrespect. Look inward, all right? Deal with the poison within before you request solidarity from anyone. When that poison seeps out inevitably and we get a whiff of that nasty shit, don't expect us to put gas masks on and stick around for the party. Get the fuck out of here.
The more and more I hear about this girl's story, the more and more I realize that she made it up. She made it up just so she could be anti-black. So before I go in to meet my advisor, let me address a couple of things that seem kind of suspicious. And I think these are the things that a lot of the people in her comment section are pointing out. And she's refusing to answer these questions because she clearly made it up. First of all, in her video, she pretty much implies that the person that led the trip, one of the leads for this trip, was a black woman that was being disrespectful to Palestinians. And she also implies that the trip was to Palestine. Now, Arabs in her comment section are asking her, how did you get into Palestine? Like, how would you go into Palestine? How would this be a trip where you are going actively into Palestine? And she's not answering those questions. She's not addressing those questions intentionally. Someone said that she claims that she recorded the entirety of this trip, but she has yet to post the evidence of these black people disrespecting Palestinians and thus being deserving of the anti-blackness that they receive. And because she's not posting her evidence, it means that it didn't go the way that she implied, and she just made this take to be anti-black. She just did this whole entire take just so she can have a reason to be anti-black and have people attack black people once again. Or it was so bad, the anti-blackness was so bad that these black people were receiving that she's attempting to edit it out before she posts it. I don't know about everybody else because I'm not a sneaky motherfucker, but if I had the evidence that proved my argument beyond a shadow of a doubt, the point that I made in this video where I was clearly being anti-black and being called out rightfully for my anti-blackness, I would post the evidence from day one when I'm doing my video so that people know this is exactly what I'm criticizing. A lot of people will get lost in the semantics of why these black people were there, if they were there to help, if they were there for a cultural exchange, if they were just there to visit Israel and possibly stroll into Palestinian controlled region. That's not the importance of the conversation. The important conversation that we're having is that this one made a video that started with anti-blackness and finished with anti-blackness, dismissing anti-blackness that black people were saying in private. They didn't bring it to the internet. She did. These black people that she speaks of were discussing their anti-black experiences in private, and she brought it to the internet to embarrass them, to shame them, to poo-poo them, in the hopes that black people in general, because she doesn't name the black people, she doesn't even name the trip or why they were there, because she knew that this would lead to a pile-on of black people, and more specifically, black Americans. We see through the bullshit that you guys do. Even when you try to distract from the details of what we are discussing by trying to talk about things that are unimportant, like the reason why they were there, the original charge still remains that she and you don't deny. That the reason why she made this video was because she wanted to be anti-black and discount the anti-blackness that these black people that she's speaking of were experiencing in Palestinian controlled regions, if this even happened. The reason why you don't see these black people coming online that she's speaking of is because the fucking shit didn't happen. It didn't happen. She created a story just so she can be anti-black. And even if they were experiencing this anti-blackness, they intentionally didn't bring it to the internet, and they discussed it amongst themselves because there was a respect that they still had for the reasons why they were there. If it was a cultural exchange or if they were just visiting the region, they had the respect for the Palestinian people to not bring these incidents of anti-blackness to the internet. She brought it to the internet. She made the Palestinian people over there look bad. Not those black people that were discussing this shit in private, because she doesn't deny that it didn't happen.
This lady took a group of black Americans to Palestine in order to help rebuild and give out food and nurture the people over there. She got upset that the black Americans had something to say about them being called slurs the whole time they were helping. I need her. She doesn't even realize that she produced a micro form of chattel slavery. She took a group of black people to a whole different country in order to help them, receive food, rebuild their structure of their communities, be nurturing, all these things. She took a group of black people overseas in order to do that. And while they did that, they were being called slurs. She didn't get mad at the people calling them slurs. She got mad that the black people were reacting to the slurs. That's a micro form of chattel slavery if I've ever heard one, is it not? You want to degrade me while I help you? What the f***?
All of these things, you talk about their oppression and suffering, but then they still have time to be racist. And you want people in the West that are black to have a different understanding and extend a certain amount of grace to people because they're more oppressed, but they still found a way to still punch down on black people. That's what I'm hearing. That black people should ignore, disrespect, racism, and anti-blackness because another group of people are experiencing a different type of harm, but they still find a way to be harmful to black people.
Hey, my name is CJ and I'm finna cook you. As colonized people, black and Palestinian people alike, we have to realize that anti-Palestinian, anti-Arab, and anti-black sentiment are all global issues that we all need to deconstruct and we all need to call out within our communities. Now, was the language that the Palestinian American creator said, in which the Palestinian American creator said that Palestinians are more oppressed than black people or black Americans? No, that is not the right language to use in that certain instance. And neither should we as black people rebut and say, well, we're more oppressed than you. What we have to realize is that white supremacy expresses itself in different ways in different areas and different locations around the globe. When it comes to the plight of Palestinians, we can see open air occupation and the restriction of their rights on a daily from active occupation by a colonizer. As black Americans, we still suffer under domestic white supremacy, but our domestic white supremacy really isn't in the same open air prisons as Palestinians. So we can see that black Americans and Palestinians are both people that are subjugated under white supremacy, but they're expressed in two completely different ways. Black Americans can go to bed at night knowing that they will not be bombed. Black Americans also don't have to live in refugee camps in which we are constantly displaced and we're always moved because the area that is designated is constantly being bombed by occupation. But we can also see that black Americans still have a storied history under the United States occupation. And we can also acknowledge as black Americans / African Americans that we have certain privileges by being American that our counterparts within the imperial nations do not have, like in Palestine. And when we discuss things like anti-blackness, we have to realize that anti-blackness exists in every single community, Palestinian, black, etc., etc. We can hold space and we should have these conversations because anti-blackness is a global construct which must be dismantled. We can also see that there is no such thing as black liberation without the liberation of Palestinian people. This is because Afro-Palestinians exist, and we can also see that the plight of Palestinians is inherently connected to the plight that the people see in Congo, Sudan, and the plight of black Americans in America. This is why black and Palestinian solidarity has been so strong for centuries. We can also see the anti-blackness from Palestinians is not systemically designated like the same ways that it is in Israel and in America as well. This is why conversations like these are not black and white and are always filled with nuance. So my question towards you is, are you going to stop supporting black liberation movements, or are you going to look down on black liberation movements because there's anti-blackness within the black community? No, you wouldn't. Anti-blackness is not a construct in which you can use to weaponize towards other marginalized people. This is because, like I said before, anti-blackness exists in the black community. Black people are not absolved of anti-blackness. This is what makes the construct of anti-blackness so insidious. I also saw you in your comments comparing the plight of Palestinians to what's going on in Ukraine. What's going on in Ukraine is inherently different for multiple reasons. One of the main reasons being that the Ukrainian government is ran by neo-Nazis. Neo-Nazism is inherently antithetical to the existence of black people. Palestinian liberation is not. And we also have to realize that since race is indeed a social construct, that it changes from place to place, so inherently race would function differently in Palestine than it would be in the Americas. Heck, even race functions differently in the West. This is due to those different racial caste systems that different colonizers had in the Americas, let it be French, English, or Spanish, etc., etc.
Like seriously, lovelies, this particular stage have actually been all over the platform. I don't know if you guys actually saw the first video where I, stitched her video. She went ahead to talk about how some group of people that looks like me, black people, decided to go to Ple to help with whatsoever that is happening over there. And the head of this group of people was actually a black woman. If I'm not mistaken, please correct me, because I actually, posted her first video yesterday. And on getting there, this group of, black people who volunteered to go help people of Ple was now complaining with the anti-blackness that they were experiencing in the said Ple. And she goes as far as to call these people that they are being Operation Olympic. Like, they are more privileged because they are coming from the US. So they shouldn't complain or because the Ple people are showing them or are being racist towards them. That they don't have the right to complain because they still have privilege. These people whom they are complaining of don't have the kind of privilege that they have coming from America or the US. This actually got a lot of people reacting to the fact that, okay, so you are so comfortable and you are so pleased with the way at which these power people are being so anti-blackness or are being racist towards the people who volunteered to come help them. Are you seeing the logic right now? These people decided to come help them out of their goodwill. But the said people that they want to help is being they are showing them the anti-blackness that they have inside of them. So because these guys are complaining, it's not sitting well with this particular Palestinian woman. She expects you as a black person to take anything that comes from her people, no matter what. So far, you are just there to help them. They don't care if you are being treated like shit or whatsoever. What they care about is for you to keep on helping them in your own detriment, even if doing that is causing you humiliation or what have you. They don't really care about that. That is why when I saw the first sister that I stitched a video talking about how the scenario is just that type of, oh my God, you all slaves, you just need to keep on helping us. We don't care if you are oppressed or not. We don't care the way at which we treat you guys, but we just want you to keep on helping us. Like, who does that? These people have actually forgotten that you cannot just bite your cake and have it. If you want people to help you, these people left everything according to her, because it is now being revealed that this lady decided to make up the story in order to show her entire blackness. She just decided to conk a story on her head to bring it up, because so many people were asking her questions on her, platform, and she isn't even replying. They were like, when, where, how? Like, the stories are just stories upon stories and made up and made up and made up. She claimed now that before the story was like, okay, she brought some group of black people, and now she's turning it to a black woman was the head of the people. Like, oh my goodness, these people, I don't care if the story is real or not anyways, but the thing is that enough already. The same people you are always calling upon, oh, anti-blackness, black people, black people they are tired. It is okay. They are tired. Like, they have done their part. They did their part. They got you guys involved to actually come together when there was still time, at the right time, to put heads together. But what did you guys do? You guys shut your doors. You are all out here talking about how allianship between black people and power. Black people, there are some people who I don't even know how she tried to channel some of the black people she was referring to be shitty people. These particular people you are calling out have done their bidding. They called you people, tried to make people understand that, okay, this is where to go. But what did you do? You shut your doors. You tried to tell them that they should focus more on their own problems. If you vote for Kamala Harris, you're not welcome into our community. Like, why are you still now calling them in your own community? Like, why can't you just focus more on yourself? Like, seriously, this is just becoming so annoying. Each and every person there, these people you are calling, talking about how they have privilege because they're coming from US. Like, do you know the way at which they treat these people? They have their own pressing issue that they want to solve. They have their own, their own problems. Like, you are all here talking about power this, power that. Like, who is even talking about the ones that is happening in Congo? There is black people over there in Congo, Sudan, suffering, also need aids to come help them. Like, why is no one even talking about that? It's all about how me. When it's black people, nobody cares. Nobody want to help.
because they see them as iron lord, like they can sort themselves out. Like, enough already. These people are focusing more on themselves, on their community, and whatsoever that they will have to do. But because enough of using these people, it's just getting too much. And now it is being confirmed that she actually made this story. Like, some of them will just come out to conk some story to make it look like black people are wicked, or they don't have a heart, like the problem. Like, this is just getting too much anyways. Anyway, lovelies, want to just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that. Like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload.
Thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So if you've not subscribed to this channel, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one.